Hey YouTube, it's the Morning Brew. Happy Tuesday. Oh, hit data, y'all. Got a little bit of news today, got a little bit to share, got a little bit of everything. First off, I want to say that in 1 week I'll be turning 34 years old. And then by that Friday or by next Friday or Saturday, and this is the reason I bring it up. I'm not trying to just show off my birthday coming up. In about 1 week, whatever, next Saturday, I will be celebrating 16 years of living in this country. 16 freaking years. I literally was moved here with my family about 5 or 6 days after my 18th birthday. So I was happily living in Mexico, had just turned 18, thinking, man, I've got the bull by the horns. I can do whatever the hell I want. I'm 18. You're allowed to drink, smoke, go get some hookers. We're not going to do that, but I'm 18, who cares? And then I'm told we're moving the following week and starting school right after that. No fun. Needless to say, I was also not allowed to leave because all the stuff that happens when you move here from out of the country. So it wasn't until my 20th birthday that I was able to actually move back and forth, like travel back and forth. And by that time I was like, So yeah, 16 years, folks. 16 years. And been through a lot in those 16 years. And I might get into that a little bit more next week, but needless to say, the last 5 years have been a mix of joy and loss and everything else in between. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to my birthday. What I'm also trying to debate is, my birthday is the day after Labor Day, which is a holiday here. Which, as I've said before, I usually take my holidays off so I can spend time with my family because my wife's off work and, you know, it's only fair. But my birthday is the day after. So part of me is like, it's your birthday. You should take the day off. Enjoy yourself. The thing is, I enjoy doing this a lot. I mean it. I mean, I know I don't get a lot of viewership right now, and I don't care. I may get 5 views to 10 views, 15 views. I'm happy. I'm happy to see the people that see this show every day in my own way. And so yeah, I think my birthday, I'll be spending it with you guys for a little bit. Not a very long bit, but a little bit. So yeah. Oh. In quick collector news, if you're interested, I predicted it. I'm pretty sure everybody else did too, but if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, there's a Howard the Duck cameo in there somewhere. I won't say where. You gotta check it out. And I was waiting and hoping that Marvel would release the license to do a Howard the Duck Funko. I know he had a horrible, cheesy movie in the 90s, directed by George Lucas and everything. I don't care. I actually love the movie. I actually adore that freaking movie to death because it was my first mature film as a kid. And I'm not kidding. This is the first movie I ever saw in my life I don't even know how old I was, but I know we rented it on VHS. It was the first movie that ever made any reference to a condom. And even then it went way over my head till I watched it again a few years later and then went, I totally get it now. But I love the movie. The villain in that movie creeps the hell out of me. So anyways, Howard Duck coming to Funko. I already pre-ordered mine. Very happily pre-ordered mine. I'm going to get into some quick history. Here's my fourth story of the day. So, in case you didn't know, Howard the Duck originally belonged to Marvel. Well, that's because Marvel used to have this little thing they did where if you create a character, no matter how obscure, it belongs to Marvel. But then this wonderful thing happened where independent artists were allowed to retain their creative control, aka Stan Lee got the rights back for Captain America, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. Of course, the estates of his creative partners did as well. Well, Howard the Duck was created around that time where I can't remember. Unfortunately, can't remember the artist's name, as he's unfortunately passed away a few years back. But and this falls into the story. Howard the Duck was created. Howard the Duck roamed around the Marvel universe as kind of a, Donald Duck ripoff. He had an attitude, but he smoked cigars and he fought, fought evil in his own way. At some point, Marvel, when they lost the rights to him, he took it over to Image Comics. Meanwhile, he'd already created Commando Duck, I believe his name was, which was the alternative to nothing like Howard. He was an action-packed character and so on and so forth. At one point, Marvel finally reached out to him many years after the character had disappeared from the Marvel Universe. And they asked, would you like to write a Howard the Duck story? He said no. Then he got back, then Image, who was running Savage Dragon and those books, which are still very popular, I just don't read them, I'm going to fully admit to that, also wanted him to write a Howard the Duck story. Well, he decided to say yes. He wrote a crossover story. Commando Duck, Savage Dragon would cross over into the Marvel Universe to help save Howard the Duck. This is where it gets interesting. I don't remember all the details. I recently ran across the story and read up on it as much as I could without buying the comics because they're hard to find because they're Image. You have to find Image and Marvel to get both sides of the story. The story basically goes that Howard and his girlfriend get kidnapped by an angry elf with a gun. That's it. An angry elf with a gun. They get kidnapped, and when the Marvel heroes show up to rescue them, and Savage Dragon and Commando Duck show up to rescue them, they cross paths, and they go into this huge fight where the elf basically clones Howard magically a couple dozen, 100,000 times, quote unquote. The battle ensues. They defeat the elf. The Marvel heroes grab Howard and go back to their universe, and Savage Dragon and Commando Duck head back to their universe, and things are back to normal. Howard's back with the Marvel clan, and he's showing up in stories again. Meanwhile, the writer, the creator of Howard, decided to pull a little prank that's in print, and you can find it. If you read the Image version, the Image book continues with a couple more panels, where Commando Duck took Howard, and what's the name from Savage Dragon said, "Wait, you think they're not gonna notice?" Nah, I saw one of the clones head that way. They won't be able to tell the difference. So now Howard, living in the Image universe, goes by the name Leonard the Duck. I think he also happens to be green for some reason. Might be because of the Savage Dragon inspiration or something. But now Leonard the Duck roams around the Image universe. And the Howard the Duck we have in the Marvel universe is actually a fake clone. What makes it funny is that, and tragic at the same time, is the creator and / writer passed away a few years after the passed away slightly after the story was published. So Marvel, if Marvel ever wanted to correct this, they'd have to pull the biggest D move in the world and either uncanon the story, which there's no reason to, or simply own up to the fact that they have a clone of Howard roaming their universe. Now, one of the reasons I love Howard the Duck roaming the Marvel universe is back when the Marvel zombies first started showing up, I'm talking second year, third year, they had an Army of Darkness versus Marvel Zombies, aka Ashley Williams, fighting off the infection, right? Well, he shows up in our universe because the way they connected it was that he actually was part of the reason the infection made it into that universe in the first place. Even though Marvel's already taken care of it, and continuity-wise, it's a whole different twist. But for the sake of the story, let's continue. Ash follows a Deadite, the infection starts. Well, in the Marvel universe, there's Howard. Now there's an Ash with a chainsaw and a gun. Well, there's also another Ash in that universe. A normal Ash. Ash that's grown up with heroes surrounding him. Well, when the infestation breaks out, Ash takes the heroic effort, grabs a chainsaw and grabs a gun, goes fully loaded out to fight evil. When he finally meets up with the Marvel heroes that are with the other Ash, Howard the zombie duck takes a gigantic bite out of his torso and kills him. Freaking gotta love Howard the Duck. With that, let's go with the news because I've already eaten half the time over here. So, Funko coming out with a Howard the Duck. I hope they come out with a Leonard the Duck. That's all I'm trying to say. Get the image license, Funko. It'd be great. Okay, well, the Ice Bucket Challenge. There's no way you've not heard of it now. I've heard of it. That means everybody else has heard of it. Well, Vin Diesel gloriously performed his Ice Bucket Challenge and then issued this challenge to James Gunn. Plant a tree for Groot. Well, James Gunn responded because Vin Diesel immediately after posted pictures of himself planting a tree for Groot. James Gunn responded with, "Challenge accepted, my friend," and went on to plant a tree for Groot. And that has been followed by hundreds of fans doing the same. So now the new thing is plant a tree for Groot. If I had the money and the room in my yard, I would gladly plant a tree. I will instead maintain the trees I currently have alive. I hope. So yeah, if you're interested in getting involved, Plant a Tree for Groot is catching fire as we speak. No pun intended there. And it's a great cause. Why not? Help the environment and, you know, give yourself some of that good karma towards Mother Nature. In other news, see, I'm going to try and keep it short now. I took too much time with Howard the Duck fanboying over here. In other news, every Simpsons ever continues, and we finally gotten to the late 90s. We actually, as of last night, we were in March of 1999, so that means by the time you're watching this in the morning or in the afternoon, we're already in the millennium, getting close to the 9/11, post 9/11 world we now live in. And I'm sure, I honestly can say that around this time is when I stopped watching. The early 2000 seasons are when I stopped watching. Why? Really steady girlfriend. Ex-wife, actually. Started dating. And here's one thing I'm going to say quick. For nerds, girlfriend seems to be the standard that well, even the community itself is like, whoa, you got us a girlfriend. Seems to be like the whole thing to do. Let me say this. Girlfriend who doesn't share your hobbies, like really shares your hobbies, aka Penny and Leonard from Big Bang Theory, can tend to cost you your hobbies, aka me. Stop watching The Simpsons. Stop playing a lot of video games I enjoy playing. Girlfriend that really enjoys sharing in your hobbies, well, I've got the balance. I can't really say. Let's just say that I've seen friends who date people, men and women, who date someone they're interested in that enjoys every single one of their hobbies. It's dangerous. It's good, but it's dangerous. Because then your money and you just get sucked into both your hobbies and gone. So in my case, I found a perfect balance. My wife and me share the hobby of collecting Funkos. She has a higher obsession because most of these are actually hers. I hope she doesn't hear that. My obsession is really more the entertainment side of things. I like doing the show, I like editing, I like, you know, going to cons and doing that kind of stuff. But we still share a mutual, you know, love for certain shows, Doctor Who and stuff like that. So it's nice to have someone where you can balance. You know, there's one thing in common you have really strong, and then there's a few that meet up, and then there's an extension of things you don't like that the other one does, but you'll still make time for it. So there's a good and bad. So for me, steady girlfriend that didn't like The Simpsons, didn't like anything geeky, cost me viewership for many years. And in fact, most of my hobbies got destroyed. A lot of friendships got destroyed. So buyer beware. Geeks, girlfriends aren't all that they're cracked up to be unless you can find the right one right off the bat. So every Simpsons ever continues. And all I have to say is, I want some taquitos! Alright, last but not least, the Emmys aired last night. And of course, we talked about how Billy Crystal will be doing a wonderful tribute to Robin Williams. And I watched the show. As per usual, I was bored out of my freaking skull with everything else about the show. And that's nothing against Seth Meyers or anything, although it's just it's a award show. They're not that entertaining to me. I really hate even the MTV ones that bored me when I was younger. Anyways, In Memorandum came around, and I forgot how many great actors, directors, producers, everybody, how many we lost in this past year since the last Emmys. And I couldn't help but start tearing up on God, I forget his name, but he played Uncle Phil in The Fresh Prince, and I love that actor. He was fantastic. And just so many more people that I completely forgot about, and I didn't really think about. And then we get to Robin. And the show stops for a second, and they put the spotlight on Billy Crystal. And he starts talking about how he was so close to the family that he would go over to his Polish relatives and talk about the old country and how, one uncle would say, God, what was it he said? I hitchhiked my way across America once the war started. And Robin would say, I waited for a 47 to have an in-flight meal or something like that. Which, again, I got really teared up on it, and I couldn't help it, because when you hear that the man, even when he was as famous as he was, still helped in homeless shelters every chance he got. Helped a young girl who was at her deathbed as her last wish to say hello or talk to him. It was a beautiful thing, and honestly, it's still very sad, that all this happened, but I will say that Billy Crystal's speech was, and I'll break it down in simple words, and I hate to do that, but I have no real recollection about it right now, and I'm getting a little emotional. But he talked about how so many stars that we lost shine so bright that now they're up in the heavens, and they will be shining down their light upon us, and how bright it will be. And I'll say this. I'm an atheist. I've been an atheist for many, many years, whether my family likes it or not. Very strong Catholic background, and my mom absolutely hated that I didn't believe in the faith, but I'm an atheist who chooses to believe that there's no heaven and there's no hell. I choose to believe in my own way. And this may not be the atheist way to go or whatever, I don't care. I choose to believe that because we're made of energy, and energy is not destroyed, but is transformed. I feel that those who loved us and those we loved when they pass in some way, they stick around and become a part of what makes us who we are. And I strongly believe that it's true. In certain occasions in life, I can feel my mom encouraging me. I can feel my dad tapping me in the shoulder saying, go for it. Don't be afraid. So, as saddened as I am at the loss of Robin Williams and how unexpected it was for everybody, I feel that Robin left behind something amazing. Not just a career and wonderful children and all that stuff. He left behind an energy that we can all grasp and hold on to and use to better ourselves, to better our communities, to better our fellow man, to help. I think that's what he leaves behind. As tragic loss and as tragic end as it may have been, he leaves behind something amazing. And I think that's the best thing of all. That with this great tragedy can come something wonderful and amazing from everybody. So, with that, I'll leave you with that thought. And once again, I thank you, and I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in and watching. And I appreciate the likes, I appreciate the dislikes, if I get them. Appreciate the comments. And I consider you all friends, if you want to be friends, or frenemies, if you want to be frenemies. But I just appreciate that you're here with me every day. So with that, I thank you. I ask you to spread the word and get more eyes on the shows. But till then, it's just us. Let's keep it quaint. Let's keep it quiet. Or as Robin would say, I don't know what the journey's going to be like. but we'll hold hands on the way and tell a few jokes and see what happens. So until next time, enjoy your brew. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out the show. Sorry for the long haul again, but it happens. Gave you a short show yesterday, long show today. So anyways, the questions are pretty basic. Vin Diesel's Planet Tree for Groot challenge. Are you going to accept it? Are you interested? I know, like I said, if I had the capability, I would. Of course, every Simpsons ever continues, and we're not even halfway through. It ends the day before my birthday, so I know that I'll be watching most of it from this point on as new for me. But it's still good stuff. Still quotable as all heck. Let me know where you're at, and let me know if you're enjoying it. And let me know what season so far has been your favorite if you've never seen it before. Like my wife hasn't seen most of it. And last but not least, Robin Williams got honored at the Emmys. The Emmys happened. Let me know what your favorite parts of the Emmys were. Let me know what you enjoyed. And yeah, keep that smile going. Keep the viewership going. I appreciate every single one of you. And know that you're never alone, because I'll always be here as much as I can. So, until next time, take care. From the bottom of my heart, take care again.